Here, the Audrey Horn Memorial Award is given to an individual who has made an exceptional contribution to the autism community. Today is a rather bittersweet occasion. On the one hand, I get to announce an award for a true hero to us. On the other hand, I never got a chance to thank this individual while he was still alive for the tremendous work he has done for our community and my people. As many of you know, Wayne Gilpin, the founder of Fusion Horizons, passed away earlier this year, and he's made a tremendous contribution to our community. Wayne is the father of Alex, his son on the spectrum. And if you today, back in the 1980s when Alex was growing up, if people back then had a crystal ball and could look at the exhibit hall and the treasures we have now in terms of books and other material on the spectrum, they would be green with envy. Back in those days, there was much less information. Some of you might remember the scene in Rain Man, in which the receptionist at the doctor's office, where Charlie had taken Raymond to be evaluated, looked at the taking sheet and asked, "Is it autistic? Why would you bring somebody to the doctor for that?" And Charlie said, no, he's autistic. Now, Wayne obviously knew his son was experiencing some different things, but it wasn't clear what was going on, and he would go from expert to expert. And one day, Wayne was sitting with Alex in the pediatrician's office. He picked up this pamphlet on something called autism, and he was reading that while the doctor was getting ready to see them and getting more and more worked up. And finally the doctor called them in, and first words out of Wayne's mouth were, "How could you miss this? This is so obvious." I mean, Alex met all these conditions, and the doctor took when did you get this, and whether it was in your waiting room. So that sort of started a sequence of things to happen. Now, back in those days, Wayne was in the business of publishing auto truck repair manuals, and those often provided rather exorbitant margins. Well, much to the chagrin of those on the spectrum with special interest in trucks, Wayne phased that out and started instead moving Fusion Horizons toward publishing things on autism, putting up a number of different books and pieces of information. And again, Wayne had to do many of these things from on the spot learning. There weren't many of these guidebooks around. They only came to know that bullying is a very serious problem for people on the spectrum. Wayne actually anticipated the possibility of this. In those days, he went and hired the toughest, meanest guy in Alex's class to make sure that nobody would bother Alex, and that was again a way to prevent some of these problems. Wayne, again, has been very active in the community. He was the former president of the society back when that was an elected position. And again, Wayne pursued a path of now not only publishing books in that magazine on the autism spectrum, but also holding a number of conferences with different speakers. And I was diagnosed about 20 years ago. This was a tremendous area of insight for me back in those days when much less information was available. In particular, I want to acknowledge that Wayne had a lot of people on the autism spectrum come and speak at these conferences. Often in those days, there was little recognition about the fact that people on the spectrum eventually become adults. But Wayne had a number of people come out and speak on the spectrum. He also published a number of books. Published a book by Jerry Newport, and he wrote in the introduction to that book that they had allowed Jerry a lot more freedom in the book than they normally would do to authors. As many of you know, book editors have this nasty habit of butchering our beautiful writing, and there was actually a chapter in which Jerry flat out admitted this chapter serves no other purpose than allowing me to spin on some of these interests that he had in mathematics. So at this point, I'd like to ask Jennifer Gilman, Wayne's daughter, to come and accept the award on her father's behalf.
Wow, thank you guys. This is great. It's a little emotional, but wow, the world has changed so much since we started Future Horizons. As Lars was saying, at that time, there was so little information available, and that's why we started. And now there's information all over the place, which is wonderful, but we're going to continue. And come visit us at our booth and say hi and see some of the great stuff we've got. But mostly thank you guys, and have a great conference.
Please welcome to the stage